Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's a oddly well-timed soldier. Welcome. Hope everything's going, okay. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright. Continue. Yes. My relatives gathered at the Sonozaki house after the festival to have a little party. I mingled with my uncles and had fun. I was trying to get rid of my eerie memories of the ritual storehouse. Mion was acting as the successor, so I tried to stay away from her. I'm sure she would feel weird if I talked to her in a formal way. In consideration of the hag's old age, we ended the party around 11 p.m. We all helped to clean up, with the women washing the dishes in the kitchen, and the men folding the tables and putting them away in a storeroom. It only took about 30 minutes, then everyone left, one after another. By then, Mion was no longer acting as the Sonozaki successor and was back to being her normal self. Maybe I overexerted a little. I was lying on the tatami floor. Kasai asked me if I could get in the car, so I told him I'd rather not move anymore.
Oh my
god, y'all both came at like unexpected speed. Hey, Fuki and Golden, welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's well. Thank you for stopping by.
ここで寝ちゃいたい。バッチャに見つかると怒られるよ。で、それよりシオン、明日は学校じゃないの？
Do I do something irresponsible? Oh no. Oh no, Golden.
明日は開校記念日だからいいの。あんたの学校、開校記念日って年に何回あるわけ？
Dear Lord, just let her sleep there.
まあ、いっか。じゃあ、笠井さん。シオンは今夜はうちで預かります。
わかりました。ではよろしくお願いいたします。
ほら、シオン起きて。ここで寝てるとバッチャに怒られるって。ほら、肩を貸すから奥に行こう。私の布団貸してあげるから。
Probably not, but depends on what it is. It would be for Mochi's benefit. Oh, don't do it then. Don't do it.
ありりー、おねー。
You won. My alter ego told me that I'm a demon in a demon's stomach. I wouldn't have woken up if I hadn't heard that voice, but when I stop, he always walks one extra step. I might not have woken up at all. Rude, first of all. I didn't remember much after that. I was probably brought to Mion's room and immediately crawled into the futon. Oh, I'm always supporting. But yeah. Listen, your money before you. After a while, Mion got her futon ready next to me, turned the lights off, and went to sleep. At least, that's what I'd thought. I got up and turned the lights on. Mion's futon was empty. The futon felt cold. Leon must have left it a while ago. Did she go to the bathroom? No, the closet bathroom was right there down the hallway. The light in the bathroom was off. Where did she go? The ticking of the clock was loud and annoying in the silence. The hands pointed to a little before 3 a.m. I was left all alone, all of a sudden, in this late night. I felt the eeriness of the ritual storehouse coming back to me, after almost managing to forget it in the ruckus earlier. I tried to sense my surroundings. In this house, there shouldn't be an eerie atmosphere, strange noises, or footsteps. I stepped out into the freezing cold hallway to look for Mion. Oh, I hope everything's okay, Fuki. When I did, I immediately noticed light coming from one of the nearby rooms. That room belonged to the hag. The hag went to sleep early and woke up early. She was very strict about her bedtime, so it was strange to see her light on in the middle of the night. I could hear voices, too. Those voices belonged to the hag and Mion. I creeped up to the room and listened to their conversation. Uh-oh. Since it was the middle of the night, I could hear their words very clearly.
しゃあもねえやんな。あんの赤いのもちょい出張りすぎやったんや。
まあね。お社様のお怒りに触れたんだから仕方ないしね。
Oof! Mion's voice sounded as cold as the one I'd heard in the torture room. I held my breath.
警察は調べとっちゅうとろんが、すっとらん間違いなあかんねん。
多分ね。高野さんだろうね。
Oof! My heart almost stopped. Oyashiro-sama got angry. The police are investigating. It's probably Takano-san. And what day was it today? Those words told me that something was happening. My teeth started to chatter. I desperately tried to stop them. Felt like my body was swelling up suddenly. I could no longer hear as well. Calm down. Breathe. Listen more carefully. According to Mion and the hag's conversation, another incident definitely took place. The victims were Takano-san and Tomitake-san. From what I could tell, both Mion and the hag thought it made sense that whatever it was happened to them. No. I needed to think more calmly. They did say they deserved it for making Oyashiro-sama angry. Did they say Takano-san and Tomitake-san made Oyashiro-sama angry? How did they make Oyashiro-sama angry? I knew. My body started to shake. I knew we snuck into the ritual storehouse. And that would mean Keiichi and I were also subject to Oyashiro-sama's curse? Suddenly a phone rang. The phone was by the front door. The front door was opposite the hag's room farther down the hall. The ringing echoed throughout the long hallway. It sounded so eerie, almost like it was coming from hell. That was when I felt someone behind me. Oof! Of course, there was nobody there when I turned around. But there was someone there a moment ago. I didn't know if it was Satoshi-kun. I didn't sense any emotions, so I couldn't tell. I also didn't know how long it had been there. It was as if that somebody was watching me listen on their conversation. That was the feeling I got. It couldn't be Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun would never be that intimidating or scary. My My mind turned all red, like it was suffused with blood.
みーちゃんにはない？
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I thought Reina was like there. Oh, that freaked me out a bit.
ひたひたと。
Dude, Chad, I literally thought Reina was like right there out of nowhere.
ずっと足音がついてきて。夜は枕元にまで立たれて見下ろされる経験。
I remembered what Reina Ryugu had said on that rainy day.
そうならばみーちゃんは大丈夫。お社様には怒られない。
If Oyashiro-sama wasn't angry, nobody would follow me. So what did this mean? Ever since we snuck into the shrine storage, something has been following me? What is it? Calm down, calm down. That's right. Reina wasn't talking about me. She was talking about Satoshi-kun. That's what happened to Satoshi-kun.
サトシ君が体験していることは、すべてお社様のたたりの前触れなの。
That's right. That's why he encountered the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
誰かが遠くからじっと伺っている。誰かがずっとつけてくる。
A creepy feeling crawled up and spread across my back.
誰かがいつも自分のすぐ後ろから見ている。やがて足音は常に自分とずれて一つ余計に聞こえるようになるの。
I swallowed loudly. It's almost as though Reina Ryugu was predicting what would happen to me. Had Reina been talking about... Sorry, Jesus. Talking about Satoshi-kun back then? Or had she actually been talking about me?
やがて後ろのそれは自分の家の中にまでついてくるようになる。
Sorry, I'm back. No problem, Fuki. Hope everything's okay.
そしてお布団に入って明かりを消してもずっと枕元から見下ろしてるの。ただただ黙ってじーっと。
I knew by now there was no mistake. No matter how I looked at it, she had been talking about me. Yes, me. It had been about me. The curse of Oyashiro-sama. What is the curse of Oyashiro-sama? Twitch app update makes looking at viewers weird on mobile. Well, I don't really look at the viewer count anyways. So, it doesn't really bother me. That was when I actually felt something for real. Someone grabbed my collar. Uh-oh. No voice came out. Yeah, my oven caught fire, but at least it was little enough we were able to put it out on our own. Oh, okay. Wait! Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I wasn't paying attention. Dude, my mind was off in the... Did anyone get hurt? I hope everyone's okay. Oh my god. No, we're fine. Okay. I don't know why I read that. I was like, oh, okay. God, my brain is so distracted. I'm glad y'all are fine, though. That's terrifying. I wanted to scream, but all I could do was open and close my mouth, as if something was stuck in my throat. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. You're not being a problem, Fuki. That's just me. I just naturally worry. You're okay, I promise. Oof. Oof. Well, that's rough, buddy. It was Mion. Mouse. There we go. She looked even colder than how she'd looked in the underground torture room. It only made sense that she'd come out into the hallway to answer the phone. Hey, you didn't think of that? I tried to come up with an excuse. However, the way Mion looked at me was so cold. Even if I had really run into her by accident, I could tell by the look in her eyes that she wouldn't believe me. I felt cold sweat all over my body. I couldn't even move my fingers.
ごめん。
I apologized. I could have said something to get myself out of the situation, but the apology came out first. But Mion didn't appear to hear me. She walked to the front door, still holding my collar. The phone was still ringing. A normal person doesn't usually let a phone ring for so long at this time of night. The phone call itself didn't seem real to me. Mion picked up the phone.
ミオンです。そうですか。わかりました。
I've gotta go talk to maintenance now that they're here, so I'll be back later. No problem. I hope hope nothing didn't get too messed up besides the oven. Gosh, I'm sorry that happened, Fuki. Jeez.
そちらの対応はよろしくお願いします。それから、一切の口封じをよろしくお願いします。ええ。では。
Mion put down the phone after a short conversation. What did she mean? Make sure nobody talks about this? Who called anyway? Mion put her forehead to mine and spoke to me. Oh god.
聞いてた？
Uh-oh. Which conversation was she asking me about? Well, she had to be talking about the one with the hag. If I said yes, what would happen to me?
何のことかわかんない。
Man. Man, Shion. That's rough, buddy. Lying this late in the game. Mion pulled my collar, pressed her nose on mine, and continued to speak.
聞こえた通りです。富武さんと高野さんが、お社様のたたりに遭われました。本当にお気の毒なことです。
It was like I was talking to myself in a mirror. But what I was saying in the mirror was ever so cold.
お社様のたたりって何です？
富武さんは自らの手で喉をかきむしってお亡くなりになりました。
Right.
高野さんは遠くの山奥でドラム缶に詰められて焼き殺されたそうで。
Right.
実にお気の毒です。
Tomitake-san clawed out his throat until he died? What? Takano-san was burned to death in an oil drum? What? Huh? I felt something furry crawl up my spine. I also felt like my stomach was turning upside down. I didn't feel any strength in my legs. If Mion let go of my collar, I'd probably collapse on the spot.
なんでそんな死に方したのかな？
わかりませんか、シオン。
I'm asking you because I don't know.
わかんないよ。
理由なんて一つしかないじゃないですか。
Please don't talk as if I already know the answer.
何の理由かな。
My heart was pounding. I felt that my next breath would be so bloody and hot that I'd choke on it.
そんなこともわかんないのですか。
It's because they made Oyashiro-sama angry. The first year, it was the manager of the damn construction site. The second year, it was the traitors to the village. The third year, it was the pacifist. The fourth year, it was the relatives of the traitors. I'd always thought the victims were people who had something to do with the dam conflict. Since I didn't do anything against the village during the dam conflict, I assumed I was safe. I should have known. I should have known everything would be the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I knew Oyashiro-sama's anger was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I knew Oyashiro-sama would get angry if I snuck into the ritual storehouse. But since I wasn't held responsible in any way for the dam conflict, I never thought I would be the victim of the curse. Did I ever think there would be an incident in the 5th year? Did I ever think that I'd be the victim of the 5th year incident? Tomitake-san snuck into the storehouse and he clawed at his own throat until he died. Takano-san was burned to death in an oil drum. It must be a lie. It couldn't be true. Even if it was forbidden, it was just a space for storing some old torture implements. How could they be killed just for sneaking in there? Especially in such gruesome ways. But I thought it about again and realized that those people were absolutely capable of doing things like that. The main Sonozaki family was capable of it. The Sonozaki family had been pulling the strings behind the series of mysterious deaths. They could do it. The Sonozaki family even kidnapped the grandson of the Minister of Construction during the dam conflict. They could do it. The Sonozaki family made Satoshi-kun disappear completely. They could do it. Nope. Mion leaned against me, before falling onto the cold hallway floor. Huh? She collapsed rather violently. I usually didn't go to sleep with my stun gun, but since I was too tired and sleepy to get ready for bed, I still had it on me. Oh, she stunned her ass! Jesus. I had my stun gun on me. I finally understood. I didn't know who killed them exactly, whose idea it was, or who ordered it. I didn't even know who was actually involved. But Mion and the hag knew everything. Satoshi-kun. Now I finally know. Now I know what I need to do. I will settle the score for you, Satoshi-kun. I will avenge you, Satoshi-kun. I won't be killed like you, Satoshi-kun. I walked into the hag's room. She was sitting up to take some medicine. Her back was turned to me. Mion and I are twins. If I acted like her, the hag wouldn't notice the difference. Oh, well, I guess their back's turned, so she can't see the clothes or anything. I didn't think she'd ever suspected me. I put my stun gun to her neck and pulled the trigger. I heard an indescribable electrical sound and the hag's lights went out. She fell in a twisted position. Did she just kill her? I mean, well deserved. Oryu was a bitch, but wow. I didn't know how long it would take a person to regain their freedom of movement after getting knocked out with the stun gun. Okay, probably. Okay, maybe she's probably alive. It is just a stun gun. Actually, I don't know. Golden, I feel like you would know this. Can a stun gun actually kill people? I feel like you would know that, Golden. So I had to restrain them before they woke back up. I was unbelievably calm. The key to the underground torture room was in the forbidden drawer that only the head of the family can access. Mion had told me about this once. I'd never looked for the drawer before, but found it exactly where I thought it would be. The key was on a keychain with several of its sisters. Each had a little plaque on it that said what it was used for. It's possible to lead to cardiac arrest. Lead to cardiac arrest. Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say like the thing eluded them. It's like what? They were all in Mian's handwriting. I know. She was an idiot for being so conscientious, but it sure helped me out. I put the keychain in my pocket and headed to the outdoor storeroom to find a cart. I found a large flashlight there as well. There was a strap on the flashlight so I could put it on my shoulder. That way I'd have both hands free to carry Mion and the hag. I loaded Mion and then our grandmother onto the cart and carried them to the underground torture room. I was prepared to use the stun gun again if they woke up while I was working. But it was more powerful than I imagined, and the hag showed no signs of waking. This was the stun gun Kasai specially ordered for me when I told him I wanted a powerful one. I remembered him telling me that it was an illegally modified stun gun and that I should never use it just for fun. I used my flashlight to find the light switch. I found it easily and turned it on. All the lights went on in the basement. Although there was no illumination, it was very dim. I moved quickly so as to finish what I needed to do before they woke up. I decided to put Mion in a cell beyond the torture room. The lights in the torture room were so bright that it was like daylight. There was a door there. I was fairly certain the cells were on the other side of that door. The proper key was here. The keys made a tinkling sound. I felt cold air coming in through a gap in the door. There must be a huge opening on the other side. I opened the door and I saw nothing but darkness. I felt along the wall to find the light switch. I turned the switch on, and the light bulbs lit up, revealing a huge rocky cave. Yeah, we saw this in Chapter 2. It didn't look like a natural cave. It looked more like an air raid shelter. This actually would be a pretty good shelter. Right? I feel like this would be...
My heart! I loved her!
Thank you for the bits. Welcome back, Fuki. I feel like this would be a pretty good shelter, in all honesty. There were several hollow openings with bars across them. Those were the cells. I walked up to the closest cell and checked to see if it was strong enough to confine her. I pushed and pulled on the bars. I rammed against them with all my weight and decided they were perfectly sturdy. This was secure enough to be called a cell. I opened the lock and carried me on in. It wasn't particularly strong, just average. Maintenance big stupid. Oh, sorry. Hope it doesn't take too long. I'm just sorry that happened in the first place. That's... At least no one got hurt. That's the most important thing, I think. I never thought I was strong enough to carry a whole person. But now I didn't need to pretend to be weak. I could easily lift and drag their bodies. I put Mion in the cell. She seemed to moan a little. I didn't need to check to make sure. The effect of my stun gun was wearing off. I closed the bar and turned the key in the lock. Then I ran to the hag, who must have been starting to wake up too. Fortunately, there was no sign of her regaining consciousness. Maybe the difference in age had something to do with it. I looked for a table to restrain her on. Oh my god, is she gonna torture her? I found a wheelchair with the restraints for the hands and feet, and put the hag in it. Of course, she didn't resist, but her dead weight made it seem like she was a huge French doll, but one made of flesh. I put her hands on the armrest and restrained them at the wrists with the metal rings and hinges. I did the same with her feet. This must have been a wheelchair especially remodeled to restrain a person. Other than the restraints, it was a regular wheelchair. Among Us VR now? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm probably... now that I have the emote, I probably am going to have to play Among Us one of these days on stream. Maybe do like a Among Us lobby with the viewers. Just chat and we all play Among Us. I don't know. I feel like that'd be fun. This must have been a wheelchair especially remodeled to restrain a person. Other than the restraints, it was a regular wheelchair. I'll play with you. Nice. I can't lie though. Oh, don't worry. I'm not very good at lying either. I waited for the hag to wake up. I had so many things I wanted to ask her. I didn't think she'd answer honestly, but I had plenty of tools to make her talk. I was in no rush. When the hag had a concern, relatives took care of the problem. That was how it worked in the Sonozaki family. She was the leader of the family, so all the information they gathered would make its way to her. She must know everything that happened in Hinamizawa. That is, if you didn't kill her with a stun gun. Including the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I heard a noise from the cell. Oh, Mion is gonna be hollering. Mion must have woken up before the hag did. Speaking of the hag, she didn't seem like she was about to wake up anytime soon. But she was restrained even if she did, so I had no need to fear. I left the hag there and headed for the cell.
シオン、これは何の真似ですか?
Uh-oh. She talked like the successor, but she also sounded frightened. She obviously understood the situation she was in right now.
おはよう、ミオン。まさか自分が閉じ込められることになるとは思わなかった？
園崎家当主代行として命じます。ここを開けなさい。
Got him. Oh, you gotta hold that L, Golden, sorry. Oh, man. Feels bad, man. That's rough, buddy.
声色に一つ凄みが欠けますね。当主様はもっと傲慢な言い方をしなきゃね。
Is it like a legit tiara?
もっとも、そういう言い方ができたとしても、今のあんたは滑稽なだけなんだけどさ。
Alright, Shion, getting a bit cocky. Knowing Mion, she's gonna like rip the bars from the hinges and just strangle you. There's nothing funny about it, but I wanted to intimidate Mion. My laughter echoed throughout the cave. It was artificial and meaningless laughter. I heard it over and over as it echoed. It sounded as if I wasn't the only one laughing. I couldn't stand it, so I stopped. Silence filled the air. And silence almost hurts my ears, so I started to speak.
富武さんと高野さんが今年の犠牲になるとはね。思わなかった。
It's barely above a dress-up tiara, but it fits on my big ass. Hey, as long as it looks good, that's all that matters. That's the Mochi's golden rule. As long as it looks good, it doesn't matter. When it comes to like articles of clothing.
高野さんのドラム缶に詰めて焼き殺したってのもなかなかやるね。
It has butterflies. Ooh. Post a picture in the Discord so I can peep it out, if you haven't already.
ま、あの人はそういう死に方を自分で希望してたっぽいからね。 結構満足してるかもよ。
Mion didn't say anything. She just stared at me to see how I'd proceed.
富武さんの自分で自分の喉を引き裂いたってのは何？
I did, but I think I deleted it, so I'll do it again. I've been wondering what that is, because I've seen, like, sometimes there's, like, notifications for some of the channels, but then I look and then there's nothing. I was like, am I going insane? Let's see.
意識をおかしくさせるような怪しいお薬でも注射したの？
Ooh, that does look nice. I like the way that the butterflies are portrayed on there. Like how they did the bejeweling. I don't know what you call it. You know what I mean, though. Looks nice. Very nice. I'm insecure, so I delete messages left and right. Oh, that's no problem. I just like I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was just going insane. You can see my singular gray hair in my bangs. I don't see a gray hair, but I wasn't really paying attention that much. Looks fine to me. Yeah, looks fine. I mean, like, we all age at some point in time, so I wouldn't, like, stress about it. It's just a fact of life. And if somebody judges you for that, they're an asshole.
それともそういう死に方に見せるような道具でもあるわけ？
I'm proud of it. Nice. I'll definitely be kind of like happy when I get like fully like gray or white hair. I'll be like, yes, I've reached grandpa status. Mion didn't reply. I was smiling boldly, but I became impatient and finally kicked the bars. It made a violent noise. Mion jumped as if she was kicked directly.
返事がないと退屈です。私を怒らせるとどんな得が？
私が知るわけないでしょう。
So I feel like Mion obviously gets out of this because so far this has been following the events of Chapter 2. And we know in Chapter 2 basically what happens is a Uno reverse where Shion is in the cell and Mion's like the one that's like about to kill her and Keiichi. Mion finally replied. She was odious, but at the same time it sounded pitiful.
ねえ、ミオン。次期当主様。ここまで来ちゃったんだから教えてくださいな。
I had just too many things I wanted to ask her. I wanted to ask her about me, about the incident, about the curse, about Satoshi-kun. I didn't even know where to start. Before I asked her about those, I asked her one other thing.
私に対して反抗的な態度をとっても何の得にもならないこと、理解してますよね。
Mion glared at me silently. Because we were twins, I knew that was just a bluff.
もうここまでやっちゃった以上、私も引っ込みがつかないんで。お姉も私に容赦とか躊躇とかそういうものをあまり期待しない方がいいかもです。
Mion must have been feeling the cold sweat on her face. Although the light was dim, I could tell she was frightened.
じゃあ聞くよ。ひなみ沢村連続開始事件。 通称お社様のたたり。これってどういう意味があるの？やっぱりダム戦争のけじめってやつ？
私は、多分そうだと思ってる。
What, so you don't know? Myeon sounded a little confused, but she answered. I felt satisfaction now that we were communicating. I continued with a smile.
思ってるって言い方が少し頼りないね。そのあたりの事情は詳しくないの？
シオンだって分かってるでしょ。次期当主なんてバッチャの取り次ぎに過ぎないよ。
Oh yeah, she may be kind of fucked if she actually killed Oryu. Yeah, right.
その当主様と意思を疎通させて以心伝心なのが次期当主様の役目でしょ？取り次ぎに過ぎないなんて信じると思う？
いつも身近にいる私だってたまにバッチャが何を考えてるのかわからない時があるもん。何でもかんでも私が理解してるわけじゃない。
じゃあお社様のたたりってのはあいつが全部独断で決めてるわけなんだ。次期当主様と相談して決めてるのかと思ったよ。
やばい話は全部バッチャが一人で決めてる。私なんか預かり知る余地もない。
でもばあさんの独断だとしたってあいつはあんたを介してやりとりしてるわけでしょ？そのあんたが何も知らないなんてあるはず。
違うよ。私なんかを介していない。私にだってよくわからないんだけど、私が陽の部分を取り継いでるとしたら、陰の部分を取り継いでる誰かがいると思う。
誰？その影の部分の取り次ぎって。
知らない。
God damn. Kidnapping Myeon was useless.
誰かを招いて話してるとことか電話をしているとことか見たことない？強いて言えば毎年お社様のたたりの時期になると連絡量がどっと増える相手ね。
わかんない。心当たりなんかないよ。
Myeon shook her head.
まあいいや。じゃあ質問を変えるね。今年のたたりの富武さんと高野さんはダム戦争に直接関係してないのになぜ犠牲に選ばれたの？やっぱり西宮殿に忍び込んだから？
As soon as Myeon heard the words ritual storehouse, her expression stiffened.
西宮殿に？古手神社の西宮殿を犯したの？
Oh, don't bullshit us, Myeon.
ありゃ。知ってるとばかり。
そんなことをしたら、バカ、当然だよ。
Myeon muttered bitterly while shaking her head repeatedly. Myeon's reaction made me realize the true meaning of the forbidden storehouse for ritual implements. The ritual storehouse is a sacred building, so nobody can go inside. A curse will fall upon any who disobey. Any child would know that rule. However, just because they knew about it didn't mean they all believed in it. Although they were told they would be cursed, most of the kids actually enjoyed hearing the stories. They simply didn't believe it was true. However, Myeon's reaction told me it absolutely was. If they actually did that, of course something would happen to them. She was saying that if someone stuck into the ritual storehouse, That person should be killed.
私がこっちに帰ってきて以降、たまにミヨンとは認識が食い違いますね。そりゃあ私だって西宮殿が迂闊に入っちゃやばいとこだってのは知ってますけど、あんな死に方しても当然だってほどやばいとは思わないんだけど。私たちだってその程度の認識じゃなかったでしたっけ？
それはシオンがよく知らないだけだよ。
すみませんね、よく知らなくて。説明をいただいてもよろしいですか？
そりゃシオンの言う通り、子供の世界ではやばいとかたたりがあるとか言ったってどうせ迷信に過ぎないだろう。でも大人にバレたらかなり怒られるんだろうなって程度の認識だと思う。でもね、ひなみ沢の古老たちにとってはそんな甘いものじゃないの。
Mion explained to me how the elderly people blindly believe in Oyashiro-sama, and how sacred the festivals are to them. It's probably something the younger generations would never understand, but they're possessed by a very strong, deeply rooted devotion toward Oyashiro-sama. Mion then went on to tell me about how sinful it was to violate the rule of the ritual storehouse. I just couldn't believe things like that were still going on even in the modern day. I couldn't even reply appropriately. But even if it was unbelievable, I couldn't ignore what I was hearing from my twin sister.
なるほどね。でもさ、ミヨン。たたりで一人が死んだら、それを相殺する意味で一人を生贄にするのがルールじゃなかったっけ？生贄の死体は出ない。なのに今回は二人とも死体が出ちゃってるんだけど、そのあたりはどう見る？
Mion doesn't know that besides Takano-san and Tomitake-san, Keiichi and I also snuck into the ritual storehouse. So I tried to lead her a little.
確かにおかしいね。
高野さんの焼死体は見つかっちゃいけなかったってことなのかな。本当は高野さんは失踪ってことになるのがパーフェクトだったのかな。
あるいは自信はないけど。
何？根拠なんかいらないから言ってみてよ。怒らないから。
Mion hesitated a little first, and then started to speak.
西宮殿に忍び込んだのは実は4人とか。
Shion's like, shit.
それで？
Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Fuki.
で、もう2人は生贄ってことで鬼隠しになってるんじゃないかな。
Shit. Hydrate or dihydrate, as we say at work. True. Truly wise words. Mion's words were stuck in my head. If those two dead bodies were the results of the curse, then there should be two sacrifices to calm Oyashiro-sama's anger. The four of us snuck into the ritual shrine together. It was a simple equation. Did that mean that Keiichi and I were in danger? I got drunk, fell asleep, and decided to stay overnight. Was that because of the alcohol? Or did someone put a drug in my drink? It's not like me to get drunk and spend the night at the hag's house. Hydrate or die straight. I wanted to forget about what happened in that eerie storehouse, so I drank too much. But it really was strange for me to get that drunk. Maybe it was a good thing I woke up in the middle of the night. I could have been the one to wake up in a cell. Ooh, okay. So maybe this is where it deviates from chapter 2. Because, as you guys remember, she was the one in the cell in chapter 2. So, maybe this is where the alternate timeline starts to kick in. Interesting. Sometimes it's hard to recognize danger when you avoid it accidentally. A part of me just wanted to laugh at the idea, but another part of me felt frightened that I was so close to being in Mion's position. If my thinking was correct, I wonder how Keiichi Maibara was doing right now. I didn't see him in any of the cells, but that didn't guarantee his safety. Takano-san and Tomitake-san had been executed. There was a possibility that Keiichi could already be dead. But just like what happened to Satoshi-kun, it might only happen after a few days. When the sun rose, I was going to pretend to be Mion and head to her school. I was going to check if Keiichi Maibara was safe. If he had already disappeared, the enemy would come after me next. I'd have to be a decoy for myself. But if he was still safe, I'd need to keep my eyes on him. I was sure the enemy would come after that scatterbrain. If I became Mion, Shion would disappear. The enemy would think Shion had already been demoned away, and they'd concentrate on Keiichi. If nothing happened to Keiichi, that would also be fine. And to prove that nothing would happen to me either. The hag was still sleeping in the wheelchair. Ew, why? I was going to interrogate her, but actually, I wasn't expecting to learn that much. The woman who was also known as Empress Sonozaki probably wouldn't say a thing even if her fingers were cut off. Mion, her successor, was the complete opposite. She spoke readily, but didn't know too much about anything. Mion had said she was only a messenger, and that someone else was taking care of the problems on the underside. It was possible Mion had grown to be a good liar, and that she tried to deceive me with a straight face. But at the same time, I could see the hag not letting Mion get involved in the underside of the village. I think it's just a joke, Golden. I wouldn't. We're just messing with you. If I were her, I wouldn't have used Mion for that either. Like me, Mion was a nice person. Oh, wait, what? I don't know if I would call a murderer a nice person. I don't know if I'd do that much. While there were only ones and zeros in the world, she believed there were numbers with decimal points. In other words, she could never be cruel. I don't know where you're getting that from, Shion. I don't know what ass you pulled that out of. If the hag went through the same way, if the hag thought the same way as I do, it is very possible. The one who took care of the problems on the underside, X, was the one who actually governed the curse of Oyashiro-sama. If the hag became concerned about something, X would deal with it, either directly or indirectly. Or maybe the hag and X would discuss details first. But did X really exist? If he did, his place in the village hierarchy was a lot more important than that of the successor. Is it too early to go to bed? Well, for me, it's like 8:47 p.m. But, I mean, if you're tired, you should just go to bed, Fuki. Especially when you had to deal with something as stressful as the oven stuff. If you need to go to bed, just go to bed. As long as it's just late at night. Unlike Mion, who was too nice, he was discreet, cruel, and cunning. Furthermore, he was extremely close to the Hack. Who are we talking about? Who is X? What? Sleep is for the weak. No, it is not. I am incredibly weak. Okay. Alright, get you some good sleep, Fuki. Thank you for dropping by, though. I appreciate it. Someone who would have a lot of contact with her just before it was the time of the curse. Because of the way Tomitake-san died, it could be someone who regularly dealt with unusual drugs. It could be a member of the medical institution. The director of the Erie Clinic. Erie? I knew... Yeah, I'll keep you playing this. Well, I appreciate it. Dude, if this guy turns out to be, like, the director they were talking about in Chapter 1, and, like, the director that was, like, keep being mentioned... I knew he was sus. I knew he was sus. In this isolated village, Erie was famous for opening such a beautiful clinic, and for working so hard for the villagers' sake. The villagers liked his mature personality and really respected him. There's nothing scarier than a doctor who's also a murderer. If Erie was the person behind the curse, all the mysterious deaths could be explained. However, there was only a slim chance of Erie being X. The main reason being that the hag wouldn't trust him. Like many of the elderly, the hag doesn't like young people. I knew she'd never trust him because of his age. Furthermore, she had openly criticized his behavior among the relatives once. Although Erie was famous, he was an outsider, after all. He wasn't born here. He tried to maintain a good relationship with the villagers as the director of the clinic, but that was just on the surface. Couldn't even imagine the hag telling him about her worries, or about the village's underside. If she was as suspicious of others as I was, then she'd only gather trustworthy people to deal with that underside. The first people that came to my mind were the leaders of the three families. Leaving Rikachama out, the head of the Kimiyoshi family was a strong possibility. He was the only one who could advise Empress Sonozaki. They were of a similar age, and everyone knew that they were very close outside the family councils. Furthermore, as the mayor, he often went to the Sonozaki house just before the Watanagashi to discuss festival preparations. Oh, good. God dang it, Fuki. I could easily picture them talking privately. The one who executed the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The one who murdered Takano-san and Tomitake-san. The mastermind behind the series of the mysterious deaths that had been going on for the past 5 years. Was he coming after me? Did he get to Satoshi-kun? When I thought about Satoshi-kun, I felt elevated. I was fearful of possibly being this year's victim until just a moment ago. I was scared that X was after me. But when I thought about it, I realized, whoever it was, this person had gotten Satoshi-kun. I'd looked so hard, but I couldn't find him. I'd almost forgotten about this enemy. It's too early in my time zone, I shouldn't. Okay, just don't push yourself. For better or for worse, he was going to appear before me again. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find that enemy. But now, he was trying to find me. That was it. I wasn't only being chased, I was chasing too. When I realized all this, I was no longer afraid of dying to the fifth year's curse. It had become a game. I wasn't only being threatened, I was threatening too. Now was the time to settle the score for Satoshi-kun. Now was the time to awaken passions that had grown weak over the past year. I could feel righteous indignation and courage flare up within me. The only emotion that can defeat fear is anger. When my anger completely overtook my fear, I felt as if I were reborn. Holy shit. This OST.
おばあさま、そろそろ目を覚ましてくださいません？
Uh-oh. I kicked her wheelchair rather violently. But that didn't wake her up either. I would not be surprised if you killed her when you shocked her, dude.
ひょっとして眠ったふりをしてやり過ごそうとか考えてません？
I grabbed her hair and pulled her head up. But even then, the hag still stayed silent with a straight face. Then I noticed something. I looked for an appropriate torture device. They were all large scale, none of them being particularly handy. That's when I saw a cigarette lighter on a cushion in the tatami room. One of the relatives must have left it there. I lit the lighter. A huge flame appeared. I turned the lighter off and went back to the hag with it.
見えてます？見えてない？これ誰の忘れ物かわかりませんけどね、ライターです。
I lit it in front of her eyes.
今からこれであなたの鼻を焼きます。
Oh shit!
嫌でしょ？私も嫌です。ですから寝たふりをやめてください。
There was still no response. I put the flame right under her nose without hesitation. The tip of the flame touched the tip of her nose. The flame must have burned her nose hair. It smelled terrible. I was already certain, but I continued anyway. I brought the fang closer to her eye. Her eyelid didn't move one bit. She's either an incredible under pressure, or she's dead. I'm voting that she's dead. The flame burned her eyelashes, making it smell awful again. I turned the lighter off and then felt her throat and wrist. Didn't feel any warmth. Didn't feel a pulse either. Yes, she's dead!
こいつスタンガンで死んだ？
I mean, you literally fucking hit her ass with a powerful ass stun gun, and she's like, what, 90? Yeah, of course. There was no way she could pretend to be asleep while being burned. Even if she could endure the pain, anyone would reflexively move their eyelids if a flame came close to their eyes. But she didn't. I turned the sink water on and aimed the end of a hose at the hag's face. The water pressure wasn't too high, but by squeezing the tip of the hose, I could make it squirt out. The water hit the hag in the face, but there was still no reaction. Shit. You gotta be kidding me. She's dead. The one who was at the center of everything is dead now. I knew she wouldn't talk, but I didn't expect her to end up dead. I never even thought of killing her. I walked around the room restlessly. I didn't feel guilty, but instead felt frustrated with what I'd done. Come on. I need to calm down. What do I need to be afraid of? Calm down and stay cool. Calm down. Stay cool. I could feel my brain starting to calm down. My emotions cooling down with it. She was my true enemy. It was just that I killed her before confronting her about it. Sooner or later, I would have killed her anyway. She wouldn't have said anything in the first place, so there wasn't really a reason why I should have let her live. I didn't realize that until now, and that was why I got frustrated. My revenge for Satoshi-kun started with the unexpected death of my grandmother. It was such a strange feeling, like I was wearing sopping wet clothes. I replaced that feeling with anger. I couldn't forgive her. I couldn't forgive the hag for abusing the Hojo family, including Satoshi-kun, for so many years. She cornered him psychologically as well as physically. She didn't deserve an easy death from a stun gun. I picked up a whip that was hanging on the wall. The whip was designed to make sure the person on the receiving end got seriously injured. I swung it up, and then down. The sound reminded me of when I was a child hitting things with a jump rope I pretended was a whip. But unlike then, I'd made a purple mark on the hag's face, and reddish-black blood started oozing out. Jesus. I swung it up, and then down again. The next time, the whip hit her in the head. Her hair flew in the air. And that's... Like, how do they design those things that they can, like, cause that much damage? Is it just, like, do they, like, tip the ends with, like, spikes or something? Or is it just how it's designed where you can put so much force into it that, like, the force of, like, when it comes down is just that strong? At the end of the bunch of hair, there was a piece of her skin. Oh my god. It seemed the whip had ripped off part of her scalp. I continued to hit her with the whip. I didn't bother removing the hair beforehand. The tip of the whip was divided into many points, with each point having a fishhook in the end. Oh, okay. Okay, well that explains it. Those hooks added to the speed of the whip. Not only scratched the victim, but tore their skin as well. The hag's hair was all messed up, and her face was getting bloody. She'd started to look like a real demon. Stop the whipping. Not because my arm was tired, but because I couldn't stand the feeling of her hair on the tip touching me every time I swung the whip. I threw my whip at the hag. Breathing heavily, I realized I was covered in her hair. It almost felt like thousands of maggots crawling all over me. I brushed off violently. Is Mion just, like, quiet during this whole sequence? Or watching her grandmother get whipped to death? Well, she's already dead, but, like... So far, she's had, like, no reaction.
思い知ったか悪魔め
Agreed. But, like, is Mion really just not gonna say anything? I put my hands on my knees and exhaled roughly. It was then that I noticed. I perked up and turned around. There it is. The person who had been watching me. Oh, okay. Alright, now we're going to Mion. I was like, is she just not reacting at all? Since I snuck into the shrine storage. Oh, no. Oh, guess not. I sensed this person sitting in the tatami room and enjoyed watching me torture my grandmother. An overwhelming emotion started to swallow me up. I tried desperately not to feel it.
いつからそこにいたんだか言ってくれればよかったのに。
It was just there. Just like Satoshi-kun, it was just there. It was extremely uncomfortable to have it just be there.
そっか。レナが言ってたもんね。
Oh?
あんたお社様ってのは。
Oh? Oh? I smiled boldly. And yet, I could feel my body shivering.
冗談じゃない。あんたがお社様で、たたりは本当にお社様のたたりってわけなの？バーカ！ 誰が信じるかよ。へ？
It's just my imagination. It couldn't be the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The curse couldn't be real. Everything was done by humans. They made everything look like it was a curse. Nope. I'm still in the curse camp.
まあ、あんたが見たいってんなら勝手だけどさ。私は見物料を取るつもりもない。
I won't charge you for it.
でも、私の邪魔をしようってんなら、あんただって容赦しないよ。
No matter what I said, nothing happened. It was like trying to communicate with an insect. It felt like I was staring at a spider in the middle of its web, and the spider was staring back. I turned to the hag in the wheelchair. I couldn't leave her body here forever. If I don't need to make her death known, then it should be quick. And it's best if a body doesn't exist. Not even in this sacred, underground torture room. I exhaled to try to calm myself down. Oh. I remember now. When I was a little girl, Kasai used to love making me feel scared. He often told me scary stories about various horrible things. I recalled his story about the secret torture room of the Sonozaki family. According to the story, there was a well in the torture room for dumping bodies in. Yup. There was a pile of tortured corpses at the bottom of the well, and resentful moans could be heard echoing from there. And about halfway down the well, there was a different tunnel, which was a secret passage leading into the distant mountains. That bit was from Mion's telling of the story. It was probably an amalgamation of tellings from different relatives. The room was supposed to be a huge secret, but everyone got loose lips at the chance to have fun scaring the young successor.
ミオン、昔、親戚の誰かが言ってたじゃん？この地下の秘密部屋のどこかに隠し井戸があって、外へ出られる秘密の通路があるって話。
She really just didn't react to her grandmother being dead.
さっきの音は聞こえてなかった？ばあさんを鞭で叩く音。
Wait, did she do it in another room? I'm confused. Okay, so maybe she did it in another room. Mion didn't reply, but I saw her bite her lip.
大丈夫。あんたは叩かない。でもね、あんたが不愉快だと、ばあさんをもっと叩くかもしれない。今度は鞭なんかじゃなくて。そこの奥。
暗がりにも牢屋があるでしょう。その中。
Mion pointed weakly. I walked down to where her finger indicated. Eats Mochi Arc! Oh my god, Arc, you're alive! Let me go ahead and shout you out. Alright, well, no, go on, I got it. Starting to feel get pretty weak again, so I'm going to bed. Good night, y'all. Good night, Fuki. I hope hope you feel better in the morning. Literally, as soon as I come here, Fuki leaves. Yeah, it's all your fault, Arc. I'm kidding. How you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you live in a bit. Hope everything's well. A light bulb lit up the cell. It was a lot smaller than the one Mion was in. It was very shallow, and I didn't even need to open the door to see how tiny it was. I'm on vacation. Oh wait, that's right. I remember you saying that. Love you, man, but I don't feel like passing out. Hope you had happy Thanksgiving, Lord. Lord. Of course, there's no well in there. I became angry, assuming that she lied to me, but after considering it, I didn't actually think she would at this point. I opened the door and walked in. I noticed something immediately. There was an opening right in the middle of the cell. This opening was naturally disguised. The way the rocks and the shadows were positioned perfectly hid the well. The tip of a rock inside of the cell concealed the entrance. Unless you went in, you'd never notice. But it was such a shallow cell that nobody would even think of going in. Besides, the bars allow you to see inside the well enough. Inside well enough. The cell is not even a few meters deep, so it would only take a glance to see everything. Nobody would think of unlocking the door and walking in. But walking in was the only way anyone could find the well. Okay, so who's dead in this run? Oryu, the grandma. She's dead. And, you know, Tomitake and Takano are dead, because when aren't they dead? They're always dead. But, yeah. Shion accidentally killed her grandma with the stun gun. So, yeah. She's the only new death. Always dead gang. Yeah, basically. Furthermore, there were many cells in this huge cave. Golden, they're probably asleep. Did you need something from them? I have something I want to do. Is that what he was asking about earlier? Furthermore, there were many cells in this huge cave. You'd think that one of them was hiding a secret well. The inside of the well was dark. I couldn't see anything. Yeah, Fuki's is still here.
I got some jelly beans. You like jelly beans?
Golden. Oh, man. 2,000 beans, count them. Golden. Thank you so much. Like, I don't even know how to reply to that. I just thank you. I appreciate you a lot. Someone clip that. Oh my god. Don't give me more bits. God dang it. One jelly bean, 2 jelly bean, 3 jelly bean. Good lord. But seriously, thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. Like, you're all awesome. Thank you, Golden. Always glad to have you here. Always glad to hear you talk about the stuff you're interested in, like your career, just zoology and just nerd stuff in general. I know I probably shouldn't be getting sappy, and yeah, I just thank you. Just thank you a lot. I appreciate you a lot, and I hope you know that. I made a choice, and I chose to throw stuff at Mochi. But every little noise I made produced echoes. Get sappy to it. I basically said everything I needed to, but just we throwing stuff at me. No. Just know that I appreciate you a lot, Golden. Like, a lot. And I can only hope that anytime you come into my streams, that you've been having fun and having a good time, and just enjoying yourself. And yeah, thank you. Stop throwing bricks at me. What are you guys doing? I'm trying to be thankful. Fine, never mind. getting sappy. Alright, no, never mind. I'm not doing it anymore then. But every little noise I made produced echoes. I could tell this was a very deep well. I brought a flashlight from the torture room and shone it down the well. What are you doing? Throwing bricks, stupid. It almost looked more like a vertical tunnel. Obviously a man made one at that. Thank goodness he stopped. There were wedges on the wall, like a ladder, and they looked as if they were inviting me to descend. It's kind of ironic that the secret escape route from an underground torture room ended up being a well that takes you even further down. Okay, now I actually have to go. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. You too, Fuku. Hope you have a good night, and fuck you, Ark. What? Y'all throw bricks at me for getting sappy, and then you throw them at me for being rude? What do you want from me? You had no way of knowing whether it would take you to freedom or to hell. Furthermore, there were the tortured bodies of past victims at the bottom. Did you know that this well has to smell all to high hell if there's just corpses and corpses piled down here? Who would be able to go down this well without hesitation? Nobody in their right mind could go down this well to look at it for a secret tunnel. Hearing these voices of the dead. Oh, you know what else smells this prick? You know what else smells? Your fucking crown, dude. Bet that smells like dog ass. Oh! Depends on the state of decomposition. I mean, what? Hey, yo.
ミオンはあの井戸、降りたことあるの？
降りたくもない。
それに関しては著しく同感。この秘密部屋の犠牲者たちが放り込まれた井戸になんか、好き好んで降りたくはないもんね。
I went back to the torture room and then returned to the cave, pushing the wheelchair containing the hag. Mion screamed. Wait, what?
シオン、バッチャー落とすけ？
Am I decomposing? Maybe.
落とすんじゃないよ。捨てるんだよ。もう死んでるしね。
Xion really went, oh, BT dub, she's dead.
さっきの拷問で死んだんじゃないよ。多分、ばあさんはスタンガンで死んだんだよ。
Technically, yes, your cells are dying. True.
心臓麻痺とかで。
ひどい。
I mean, she didn't mean to kill her.
なんなら、死後の鬼ババの世話もする？私は構わないけどね。
Chill! Dude, she is being savage. Mion covered her ears and shook her head. Everything I said seemed to bother Mion. Her own life wasn't guaranteed at this point.
シオン、どうしてこんなことを。
さーて、どうしてだと思います？
Nobody said anything for a while, but the silence was soon broken.
サトシ、敵討ちってこと？
敵討ちになったかもわからないけどね。いきなり後ろからバチンだったから、何が何やらわかんないうちにご臨終だったろうし。 ねえミオン、今こうして思い返すと、私はやっぱりばあさんを殺すだけの理由があったように思うの。
You had plenty of reasons, to be honest.
なぜかわかる？単にサトシ君を殺した張本人だからってだけじゃないよ。それは嘘をついたから。
No, true. I slapped that. No, no, guys. Okay, hold on. No, 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 no. She didn't just do this. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up. I'm pulling it up. God dang it. I feel like everyone already knows I'm about to pull up. Okay. Wait, no, come on. There we go.
Minecraft. I like your cut, G.
Like you cut, G. Step away and come to get clicked. So Cheon like slapped her dead grandma's head, and I pulled up the clip of the guy going, "I like your cut, G," and then slapped the kid's head. What it reminded me of.
あんたも言ったよね。
Damn, Daniel.
私が爪を剥がせば全て許すって。だから私は爪を剥がしたんだよ。3枚も。
I mean, technically, you only ripped out one, and then you had the people do the other two for you.
それでけじめがついたってことになったんだよね。でも約束は守られなかった。サトシ君はやっぱり消されてしまった。どうして？どういうことなの？
He continued to slap the head. Now it's just like the clip of them slapping iDubbbz' head during the, what was it, the hair cake? Yeah. Blood was all over my hand by then, and it felt gross. I tried to wipe it off on her clothes, but then her hair got on my hand. I ran to the sink in the torture room and washed away my hands with a brush. When I was done, I went back to Mion's cell.
あの時、サトシ君がいなくなってしまった後、あんたが来て言ったよね。サトシ君と私の関係は、けじめがもうついてたって。そしてこうも言ったよね。サトシ君の失踪の理由は、園崎本家は何も知らないと。うん。嘘だ！
I mean, you're not wrong. Lied! 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 Lied. 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 My shouts echoed throughout the cave. I was breathing heavily. I felt like I used up all the air in my lungs.
あんたが何も知らないのは本当だと思う。あんた自身、ばあさんに真の意味で信頼を得ていたかは怪しいからね。でも、 ばあさんが本当に私のけじめでサトシ君を許したかはわからないよ。アマちゃんのあんたに本当のところを打ち明けるわけもない。
Hag didn't keep her promise. She said she'd forgive everyone, but she lied. She didn't forgive. She didn't forgive Satoshi-kun.
嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき。返してサトシ君。返してよサトシ君。返して。
I kicked the hag's leg repeatedly. Each time I kicked, the wheelchair made a squeaky noise. I ran out of breath and kneeled down. Mion was still covering her ears and was now shaking. There were tears in her eyes.
怖がらせちゃったね。ごめん。ミオンがミオンの言うように何も知らなかったなら、ミオンはいじめないからね。安心して。でも、もしミオンも嘘をついていたなら仕方ない。その時は、どういう目に遭わされても仕方ない。仕方ないよね。
Damn. Shit's rough, buddy. Let's see. Notebook page 183. I wasn't planning to kill the hag so quickly. I was going to kill her anyway, but it was too soon. People would normally assume that the Sonozaki family operates as a hierarchy, but that's not true. It's actually more like a system of government. Several ministries stem from the main family, and each forms a hierarchy of its own. These ministries don't communicate with one another. The people who belong to a given ministry don't know what other ministries are doing. That way, the Sonozaki family's dealings are kept perfectly secret. Of course, the most important people in the family govern several ministries. They know, of course, about their own ministries. And they know a little bit about the ministries their relatives run. But none of them know everything. There are ministries that work in the open. There are ministries that work unseen. And there are some smaller ones that Oryu runs herself. Mion seems to know about most of them, but she doesn't necessarily know them all. In fact, she didn't know about the curse. Considering that, the fact that the hag died before I could interrogate her is a huge loss. True. Page 185. The head of the Kimiyoshi family was the one who called the main house most often after the 5th year's curse. My father called the second most. My parents were still high in the hierarchy, but the stir caused by my mother's disownment still hung over us, so we got treated as outcast. Wait, what? So the fact that my father received so many calls proved how much the hag valued us, despite the distance at which we were kept, demonstrating her own two-faced respect for both sides of the coin. My father seems to be in charge of the Intelligence Bureau. He reported police information, gossip, and rumors going around in the Yakuza business to the hag. He silences, stirs, and distorts that information at her request. By the way, my servant Kasai is an old friend of my father's. Yeah, we know. That must be why Kasai knows many things. But I don't know if my father is involved in the curse's execution. My assumption is that although he gathered information on the police investigation about the case, he wasn't involved in the execution itself. The fact that my father and the hag have this close connection isn't widely known. People know that she uses his information network, but they don't look very far beyond that. In the same way, it's possible that a curse execution team exists under the hag's direct control. People just aren't aware of it. Interesting. I am unfortunately going to have to stop there. I know that this is a super early time to be ending, but it is almost 10. And that's usually when my parents decide to go to sleep, so I don't want to disturb them, so hope y'all understand. But I feel like... What the fuck? No. Sorry. I know it's kind of early. You know, the anime does show Shion slapping the grandma. You stream for 8 more hours. I would if I could, Ark. I would if I could. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, soldier. But yeah, I just want them to get some good sleep because they have to go to work tomorrow and all that stuff. And just it's being polite. Tell your parents that you have responsibilities and priorities. No. Ark, I know you're joking, but like there are people that are actually like that, and that's rough, buddy. Oh, like I could not imagine. Let's see. Uh, hmm. Yeah, there are people, and I'm one of them. Shut the hell up. You goofy ass. Alright, yeah, let's just raid Abby. Okay. This is the greatest bear raid of all time. Raid Abby Zab. Alright guys, the raid has been created and I've given you the raid message, so we're gonna go ahead and raid Abby whenever the timer allows me to. Hope y'all had fun. I know I did. Let me type this in on my phone. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Hope everyone has a good one, and bye bye.